Okay, so it's been about 13 days since we started fermenting the Grenache grapes. So today we're going to do the pressing to get the wine out. This has already been fermented. There's no more sugars left. We kind of did it in extended maceration because this finished in about 10 days. So we did about 3 more days of what's called a maceration, where it floats in the wine, the fermented must, where we get some more color and flavor and aromas and stuff out of the skins. Color too, because we want it to hold its color pretty well. So you can see here, these are the grapes that are still floating on top of the wine that's been fermented. So we're going to go ahead and get the wine that's been fermented out first. It's called free run. And then we're going to work on getting on pressing the grapes to get the wine out of the actual grape skins and stuff itself too. And so we'll create basically 2 different kinds of wines from this fermentation. We're going to get free run wine and we're going to get pressed wine. And what happens is the pressed wine will typically have more tannins in it, even more flavor molecules and stuff like that. And so if we wanted to, we can actually blend the free run with the pressed, or we can keep them as 2 different wines, 2 different kind of tasting wines. So we'll do the analysis on it, and we'll do tastings of it later to see what we're going to do, whether we're going to keep them separate or if we'll do a blend of the pressed with the free run. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into extracting the free run from the fermenter. All right, so here we are. This is called the cap. So this is a layer of grape skins that's covering the free run wine. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to draw the free run wine out. So what I've got this long tube here, which has a hole in the middle, and I put this has this mesh around it to keep the skins from getting into the tube and clogging it up, so we can draw the free run wine out. So if you see, we'll press this down in here, and you can actually see the free run wine coming into the tube there. So then what we'll do is we'll put this long siphon tube in here, like so, into the free run wine. And then we're going to cover this up just to keep flies and stuff from getting in there, because we want to protect the wine as much as we can. And we'll put this top back on it as a cover. And then what we do is we hook this up to my pump, and we will extract actually it hook this tube up to here. So the wine will come out into this carboy. And then we'll hook a pump up to here to suck the air out and create a vacuum inside the carboy, which will draw the wine into the carboy. So I'm going to go ahead and put the camera up on a tripod so you guys can see how this is done. All right, so we got the siphon tube in the tube inside the fermenter to get the free run out. We have it hooked up to this adapter that goes on top of into the carboy. We have the air pump hooked up, which will draw all the air out of the carboy and create a siphon, which will draw the wine out of the fermenter into the carboy. And we'll try to get as much free run wine as we can out of this. We'll go ahead and start the pump. You can watch the free run start coming out of the fermenter as it creates the vacuum. There it goes. So this is Grenache grapes, so it'll be a Grenache wine. Everything's been sanitized because we want to protect the wine, because right now it's kind of unprotected. It doesn't have any metabisulfate in it, no sulfur dioxide to protect it, keep it from being oxidized, because we're going to go into a malolactic fermentation after this, which will ferment the malic acid and turn it into lactic acid, which gives it kind of a rounder butter flavor profile. So right now we're just extracting the wine out. So this is about 14.7% alcohol by volume. It's a lighter pink colored wine because the Grenache grapes themselves don't have a whole lot of color to them. They're not going to be as dark purple as some other wines because there's not a whole lot of, they're lighter thinner skin, so they don't have as much color as some other varietals of grapes. And it tends to be more of a fruitier, lighter, slightly tartar wine as well. So Grenache is good typically for blending. You can do a regular single varietal with it, but a lot of times they use it for making what's called the GSM wine, which is a mixture of Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre grapes. So we'll see how much free wine we can draw out before we get to having to press the grapes. Looks beautiful. Get the next carboy ready. We have some sanitizer in here. I'm sanitizing it, so we'll get that out. Get an airlock ready. Put these airlocks on to keep air from getting in after it's full and protect it. We'll spray a little sanitizer on it. Sanitizer doesn't add any flavor and won't hurt you. It's completely food safe. Really nice color on the Grenache, really nice color. This is CO2 gas that you see bubbling up there because there's still CO2 gas from the fermentation. So we're off-gassing, it's called off-gassing the wine as well while we do this. So it's pushing CO2 out, the pump's sucking the CO2 out, keeping this pretty much an oxygen-free zone right now during this transfer. Oxygen and wine aren't good friends. They don't get along really well with each other because the wine will get oxidized. So this is about 7.5 gallons. Each of these carboys. This is about, I think, 6.5 gallon. So we want to get it close to the top without overflowing if possible. We have a pressure release valve right here that'll stop it. So we'll stop it right there, get the top out, let it drip a little bit. We'll put this in the next carboy, put a pressure lock in there, and we'll draw out for the next carboy and try to fill this one up with wine as well. So we'll go ahead and see how many carboys we fill up, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how we do the pressing. All right, so we got done drawing the free run out. We have basically 2.5 carboys filled with free run wine. So we're going to keep these two separate. I'll move them out of the way so they're not in the way during the pressing, and we'll put this one up here, and we'll mix the pressing in with that one and try to fill that one up. So it'll be a combination of free wine and pressed wine. And then we're going to set this up on a tripod. We'll show you guys what we're going to do. What we're going to do is we're going to take the skins that are in here. If you look here, see, it's the level's a lot lower now. So this is just the skins with a little bit of free run wine in there as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to scoop these out, and then we're going to put them into this unit here, which is a bladder press. Now I like to use bladder presses because they are gentler on the grapes. And what basically happens here, we'll lift the top off and show you, is we'll scoop the skins and we'll fill this tube up here with the skins. So we'll put the skins in here, and then we hook a garden hose up to this, and this bladder here will fill up with water and press against the skins onto this grate, which then draws the juice out, and the juice will come into this reservoir and then drop down into the carboy. I'll have a funnel set up here and a screen to stop any skins or seeds from getting into the carboy. So that's what we'll do here. So let me get this ready. I'll set this up, the camera on a tripod, so you can watch it happen. Let's get to pressing. All right, so we got everything set up. Now we're going to go ahead and scoop some of the grapes out. We're going to fill up the press with the grapes skins. Still have some wine in them. I had to put some gloves on, otherwise it turns your hands purple because there's so much pigment and stuff in the grapes. But I'll show you what these look like here. So this is what the grapes look like. So they're still kind of plump and stuff. So then I'll show you what it looks like after we press. So we'll go ahead and put these inside the press. We want to fill this whole thing up. There's still some free run juice in here, so some free run juice will still come out. And then I have a screen, a strainer in here in the funnel that will keep any seeds and skins and stuff from getting into the carboy. So we don't want that. Try not to make a huge mess. I did put a tarp down just so I don't end up getting great purple driveway. So we're watching some football. You heard the football in the background. So I like to do this on the weekends. I have a football game on. Make wine. A lot of fun. Go ahead and spread this around. We want it evenly around the whole entire thing. Scoop all these grapes out. Now this was 250, 240 pounds of grapes. And so far we got 15, 18 gallons of wine so far from it. This should fill up the rest of this carboy. You can see the free run starting to drip now, which is fine. And when we do the pressing, we want to make sure to gently press it and not press the seeds too much, otherwise we get too much tannins. Although this wine is not a very tannic wine, so getting a little more tannins from the grape skins won't hurt it. There goes more free run. Juice coming out. This is a 10-gallon press, so it holds a good amount of grapes. It does smell really good. They need to clean that cardboard out. So because there's so much juice, the enzymes did a good job of really breaking down these grapes. We're just about full. A couple more scoops, we should be good. And we're almost done with the grapes that are in here, so we'll get this done in one pressing. Sometimes it requires multiple pressings. We should be able to get this done in one, it looks like. The enzymes do a good job of breaking down the grapes. It gets more juice out of them. They compress a lot better. That's all still free run. Put a couple more scoops in here. Yeah, we're good. This will be all the grapes. It'll be one pressing. I don't want to do two pressings on this one. All right, that's about all the grapes. Get one more scoop in there. Now this will be a little bit dirtier because it's going to get a little more of the yeast and stuff in it because we're dragging the bottom of the fermenter. All right, so now we can put the top on. We'll put this top on the press. Put this lock washer on, lock nut, keep it from shooting off, lock it down because we'll be putting water pressure on that bladder in the middle. So lock that down. And then we take this cover, sanitize the inside of it. Now if I didn't put this cover on, once we start putting water in it, it will squirt juice everywhere. So we put this cover on and it keeps the juice in that well. Put this on. Make sure it's all the way on everywhere. You don't want juice squirting anywhere. All right. We get the garden hose. We have an attachment for the garden hose. right here. We'll attach this to the press. We're going to need probably another small carboy. Lock that in. Turn this off. All right, we're going to get ready to do the pressing. So let me grab another carboy because we're going to need another carboy. All right, so we got another carboy here set up. Another smaller one because this will probably be filled with the pressing. So we'll go ahead and turn the water on. And we want to get the pressure up to the 3 on the pressure gauge on the bottom of that press. We don't want to go much higher than 3. So it should be filling up now. You'll start seeing it flow more. Oh, here we go. All right, here we go. So now the bladder's filling up with water. You'll see the speed of it flowing happening faster now. Here it goes. So now it's squeezing all the wine out of the grapes. Let's see how cloudy it is too. It's getting some of the stuff from the grapes, the yeast and stuff in it as well. So we're going to have to switch this out here because it's going to fill it up pretty fast. So let me turn the water off so we can do that switch out here when it gets full. We have to switch this out quick. Move this over. We'll have it just drip to fill it up. Otherwise it'll overflow everywhere. We'll get the sanitizer out of this, now that it's settled. So I did take a little bit to taste. You can drink this now, it just isn't clear. It has, you know, stuff in it, but nice pink color to it. Tastes really light and fruity, which is good. We'll age this on wood too. which add a little more body to it, a little more flavor. Get some tannins in it. Should be a really nice table wine. Really drinkable. Nothing super complex, but we can mix it. I have some Syrah and I'm getting some Mourvedre, so we can actually do a GSM blend, which should be quite nice. Let this fill it up. Probably turn the hose up a little bit. Fill it up a little faster. Get a little bit more out of this. There it goes. Let me get ready to swap this out here. All right, here we go. A little bit, but it's okay. All right, now we'll go ahead and turn this up now that we have a fresh carboy in. And we'll put the airlock on this one and move it out of the way. There we go. You want to watch the pressure on this. Get it up to about 3. So we should be able to get this carboy close to full. It's easier when you have a helper. I've learned to do this by myself. A little more and see how this is tasting. This is a higher alcohol too, so this is about 15%. A little over 15%. So right now we're up to 1 on the pressure meter. We want to go about 3, about the highest. Squeezing all those grapes, getting all the juice out. You can hear them squirting inside the cover. Drink some more of it. We're almost up to 3. All right, we're good. All right, we hit about the highest we could go on the pressure. All right, so we got about 10 gallons of pressed wine out of the wine press, which is really nice. And then we have those 2 7.5 gallons, so 15. And 7.5 is what, 22.5, and then 3 is 25.5 gallons of wine out of this, which is nice. And then I'm gonna go ahead and empty the press, and I'll show you what the grapes look like now that they've been pressed. So we'll come back and I'll show you that in a couple of seconds. All right, so we just got done with the pressing. This is what the grapes look like now. They're flat, completely flattened out, got all the juice and stuff out of them. This is called pumice. And this is what the leftover grape skins and stuff looks like and is called. A lot of times they'll take the pumice and they will donate to farmers to feed cattle. It makes great fertilizer as well. So I just dump it in my yard bin and it goes out with the trash. But I'd use it for fertilizer for my trees and plants and stuff, but my dogs would probably eat it. And grapes aren't good for dogs, so we don't put it out for them. But great fertilizer. But you can see they're completely dry and flat, which means we extracted as much wine out of them as we could. All right, so the next step in the process is we'll do an analysis to check the pH and the acid, the titratable acids in the wine, and we'll get it ready for malolactic fermentation, where the malic acid will be converted to lactic acid, and it gives it a little more rounded mouthfeel to it, and a little less tartness and crispness. So that's the next step. So we'll have that as part of the process. And until then, we will see you then.